How many criminal cases over the course of your career have you personally handled?
Handled thousands.
How many of those were before a jury?
Hundreds. I don't want to overstate, but hundreds. I was in a courtroom for many years. I tried 4 when I was an intern, jury trials. I think you had to try at least 20 in misdemeanor before you went to felony. Then you were in court every day, and I was also lead trial attorney for many years trying many cases. So.
And how many of those cases would have been before a judge?
Oh, hundreds and hundreds as well, but hundreds before a jury, I would assume.
And as Attorney General of Florida, how many lawyers did you supervise roughly?
Approximately 400, Senator.
Hey everyone, welcome back to American Mindset. Today, I'm reacting to a recent Senate confirmation hearing featuring the nominee for Attorney General Pam Bondi. Now, let me tell you, this is a critical moment for our country. So, grab your coffee and let's watch the video.
I'm really not going to answer that question, so let me get on to.
Would you like to?
I do have
I'd love
questions
to
for the second round.
You'll have a second round. Would you like to speak before I call on Senator Cruz?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Senator Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. General Bondi, welcome. Thank you for your long career in public service, and thank you for your willingness to take on this incredibly important office. You know, I have to say, I don't know that there is a more important position in this new administration than the position to which you have been nominated, Attorney General of the United States. I thought the exchange just a moment ago with Senator Hirono was illustrative. She asked you how you would respond if the president asked you to target his political enemies. It's rather striking because it's not a hypothetical. It has happened over the last 4 years. And I think perhaps the most tragic legacy of the Biden-Harris administration has been the politicization and the weaponization of the United States Department of Justice. And we don't need to ask hypothetically because Joe Biden publicly mused and allowed the New York Times to report it, calling on Merrick Garland, why will he not prosecute Trump more quickly? And Merrick Garland, sadly, he sat in that chair and promised to be apolitical, and he broke that promise almost the instant he walked into the Department of Justice. If you look on the west pediment of the Supreme Court of the United States, just above the entrance, there's a simple yet profound four-word phrase, equal justice under law. We have seen over the last 4 years a Department of Justice that systematically targeted the political opponents of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and that systematically protected his friends and allies. And it is tragic to see the loss of confidence in the American people, in the Department of Justice, and in the FBI. I would note, I don't think there's an institution in America who has lost more respect from the American people than the FBI has in the last 4 years. That is a grotesque violation of the obligation of the Department of Justice and the FBI. So I want to start with just a very simple question. If you are confirmed as Attorney General, will you pledge to fairly and faithfully uphold the law regardless of party?
So help me God.
Amen. Look, and I want to be clear for folks at home. I don't want a Republican Department of Justice. I don't want a Democrat Department of Justice. I want a Department of Justice that follows the damn law. And I think the American people do too. That shouldn't be too much to expect. Now, I'm grateful to President Trump for nominating you. I think on any objective level, you're clearly qualified for this position. You have been a prosecutor for decades. You have been the elected Attorney General of the state of Florida, the third largest state in America, for 8 years. Let me ask you, in terms of your practice, how many criminal cases over the course of your career have you personally handled?
Handled thousands.
How many of those were before a jury?
Hundreds. I don't want to overstate, but hundreds. I was in a courtroom for many years. I tried 4 when I was an intern, jury trials. I think you had to try at least 20 in misdemeanor before you went to felony. Then you were in court every day, and I was also lead trial attorney for many years trying many cases. So,
And how many of those cases would have been before a judge?
hundreds and hundreds as well, but hundreds before a jury, I would assume.
And as Attorney General of Florida, how many lawyers did you supervise roughly?
Approximately 400, Senator.
Now, I also want to clarify something. During the course of this hearing, several Democrat senators have referred to you as President Trump's, quote, personal lawyer. Now I don't believe that is an accurate characterization. As I understand it, you represented President Trump as a White House special advisor during his first impeachment trial. Is that correct?
Within Office of White House Counsel, yes, Senator.
And is working within the White House counsel's office different than representing Donald J. Trump individually as his personal lawyer?
Absolutely.
How's it different?
You're working for the government. You're working for the Office of White House Counsel. You're not representing him in his personal capacity.
And so you have not represented him in his business affairs, in his personal life, or in any of the criminal trials he has faced?
No, Senator.
And you know, when it comes to weaponization, it's worth noting that in more than 2 centuries of our nation's history, no president had previously been indicted, no president had previously been prosecuted until the Biden-Harris White House came along. And in the last 4 years, we've seen Donald Trump indicted and prosecuted not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 separate times.
And 2 assassination attempts, Senator.
I have to say, Javert from Les Mis would be chagrined at the efforts of Democrats to do anything possible to take him down. And I believe the real target in this was not President Trump, but it was the American people, that these prosecutions were brought because partisan prosecutors were terrified that the American people would do exactly what they did in November of 2024 and vote to reelect Donald J. Trump.
By 77.3%. Million Americans. 77.3 million Americans.
Will you commit every day as Attorney General to follow the law, to follow the Constitution, to uphold the rule of law without favor and without regard to the partisan position of any criminal defendant?
Yes, Senator.
That's what we should all expect from an Attorney General. Thank you.
We'll now recess for 30-minute lunch break. That means we'll be back.
First off, Senator Cruz hit the nail on the head when he pointed out the blatant politicization of the Department of Justice under the Biden administration. We've all seen it, how the DOJ has been weaponized against political opponents while shielding allies. This is not just an attack on individuals. It's an attack on the foundational principles of our democracy. Now, I was really encouraged to hear Pam Bondi pledge to uphold the law fairly and faithfully, without regard to political affiliation. This is exactly what we need, a commitment to impartiality in our justice system. The American people deserve a Department of Justice that operates above partisan politics. Senator Cruz's vision for a nonpartisan DOJ is something every American should rally behind. We don't need a Republican or Democratic Department of Justice. We need a DOJ that follows the law. It's time to restore trust in this institution, which has been severely damaged over the last few years. Pam Bondi's extensive prosecutorial background is another positive aspect. Handling thousands of criminal cases and supervising around 400 lawyers as Florida's Attorney General shows she knows what she's doing. We need someone who understands the justice system inside and out, especially in these turbulent times. I also appreciated her clarification about her role during Trump's impeachment. She was working within the White House counsel's office and not acting as Trump's personal lawyer. This distinction matters because it shows that she can operate with integrity and within the bounds of her role, unlike some others who have blurred those lines. Isn't it astounding that for over 200 years, no president faced indictment until Trump? This is a historical precedent that should alarm every American. The Biden administration has set a dangerous precedent, and we must remain vigilant against this kind of political persecution. Senator Cruz rightly pointed out that the FBI has lost the trust of the American people. This is a serious issue. When the public loses faith in law enforcement, it undermines the very fabric of our society. We need the FBI to be an institution that serves justice, not political agendas. The reference to equal justice under law from the Supreme Court is a powerful reminder of what we should strive for. It's a principle that should guide every action taken by the DOJ. If we lose sight of this, we lose our democracy. Cruz's assertion that the prosecutions against Trump were designed to prevent his re-election is something I strongly believe. This isn't just about holding someone accountable. It's about silencing a voice that millions of Americans support. We must stand against this tyranny. Finally, Pam Bondi's commitment to upholding the law without favor is crucial. This is what we should demand from our leaders. The rule of law should apply equally to everyone, regardless of their political position. That's the essence of justice. So there you have it, folks. This confirmation hearing is more than just a political spectacle. It's about the future of our justice system. We need leaders who are committed to fairness and integrity. Let's keep pushing for a Department of Justice that truly serves the American people. If you enjoyed this reaction, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on all things American Mindset. Until next time, stay informed and stay proud.